In this Path of Exile 2 guide, I will give you step-by-step instructions on how to advance into uber late end game in Path of Exile 2, destroy pinnacle bosses, and actually what you need and what you can do in this uber late game. And it's really important because if you're doing something different, you may find yourself in a situation when you're out of Waystones, when you can't compete with map bosses, with map enemies, and basically you're stuck. Again, this one for uber end game. It will be basically when you reach tier 13, tier 15 maps. And if you're still running in the campaign, if you're running lower tier maps, there's another guide in description that just explains everything on how to progress through map 1 to map 15, basically to this exact situation we are here right now. And the setup we are looking for is pretty simple. We need to find a bunch of towers on the map from one side and another side, so just travel to towers, and these towers will have range. For example, right towers will have this green range, left towers will have this blue range, and everything in between of this range is what we are looking for. We want to have 5-6 maps in this range in the middle of all towers. And then we just need to slam percussor tablets on each of the towers. These percussor tablets will bump and buff everything in the range of the towers, but everything in the middle is juiced. Yeah, and we definitely need this setup, because when we finish all quests that require us to clear some tier 15 maps, 6 of them most of the time, you probably won't have enough Waystones. And it will be a lot harder to get them back, so every time you lose a map, you die, basically it will be a big step back for us. That's why we're looking for setup with a bunch of corrupted and also irradiated areas. This will give these areas +2 levels, and we will get a bunch of high tier Waystones when we're just going into these areas and finishing some content. And at this critical point of the game, you will not only have better loot, but also you will have basically ability to run tier 13 maps, tier 13 Waystones on these maps, and it will be counted as tier 15 map, so it will drop tier 15 Waystones. And at this point, definitely don't worry to drop Orb of Alchemy on your Waystones. It will instantly make all Waystones to a rare tier and bump up our chance to get more Waystones from the maps instantly. All these measures are temporary. It will give you a bunch of Waystones, but you can't rely on them completely. What you actually want to do in step 1 is to find good map, just basic map with a boss. Because you will only get unlimited higher tier Waystones when you level up other Atlas passive trees. The first and easiest one to level up will be this boss tree. To get first points after completing basic Atlas passive tree, you need to run one map of tier 15 with a boss. And then you can level up 2 points in this tree. I like to get Spoils of War for more quantity of items from the boss. Then, to get next points, you need to find a boss map that is on the map with irradiation or corruption, basically with +1 level to this area. And this map will work nicely. But be careful, because boss is harder right now. We spent some points, so it will be a lot harder for you to defeat this boss. He will have a lot more health. Still, if your character can beat first boss, he can beat second boss and get another book that you can eat and get 2 more Atlas passive skill points in boss passive skill tree. Also, already the bosses will drop 2 or even 3 waypoints of tier 15. After eating the book, the next 2 points will go over here. Just go towards the middle and you will have more chance to have Waystones from bosses. But now we not only need the boss map, with irradiation, but we need irradiation and also corruption at the same time. We need +2 levels for this map. So this map will work just fine, and that's why we need to clear area around this tower and then drop percussor tablet with irradiation over here. I went back to Ziggurat Refugee to better see the ranges of the tower. Now, after dropping tier 15 Waystone over here, we get tier 17 map. And we need to defeat boss over here. Again, he will be a lot harder. He is tier 17 boss as well as +2 boss difficulty right now, so he will have even more health. But again, with strong build you definitely can defeat him. Make sure to check my builds on the channel and in the description. But here you go, you will have a bunch of Waystones, bunch of drops, and also Book of Knowledge once again. For better loot, go to the left or to the right, but if you're not sure you can survive bosses, the fail-proof method is to go into the middle and get points over here. So you will always have a shrine on the boss map. Shrines will give you power, so make sure to click them before you go to the boss, and you will definitely have better time against bosses. But how to take next points? Yeah, we need tier 16 maps. Tier 16 Waystones is not something you can get from drops, at least in my knowledge, and you can't combine 3 tier 15 maps to make tier 16 map also. I heard statement that this boss difficulty also acts like irradiation, so you can just spend points and get higher difficulty boss. And guys, this not work. The boss drops basically nothing, even if he got more difficulty than he should have right now. Just bunch of Waystones as he should drop. But again, at this point, Waystones is not a problem for you. And while you probably can try to trade for these maps, I got no success in it. And actual way how to make tier 16 maps is to take tier 15 maps and then drop Val Orb on it. It can lower the tier, but also it can make tier higher. So you will either get like random like additional modifiers or get your Waystone tier 15 to tier 14 or to tier 16 of course. I spent like 10 Val Orbs over here and got 2 maps of tier 16. So it's time to make our boss map with +2 modifier and run tier 16 map on it. Again, make sure you clear area around the towers, but I decided to gamble a little bit over here and I'm dropping 3 percussor tablets on different towers in hope to make this +2 boss maps. And now we're just running tier 16 map over here and it will be counted as tier 18 map. Make sure to be extra careful, especially if you're running maps with a lot of modifiers, since on dash and on floor effects is brutal and can one-shot you easily. Just like me on the first try. Yeah, that's what happens in the end game of Path of Exile 2 when you don't have a lot of shield and health, but even then you can die pretty easily and fast. Still, that's basically tier 18 boss right now in front of you, and while this boss definitely can give you some troubles, if you got some nice builds that can definitely beat bosses, it will beat these bosses pretty easily. You will get nice and pretty cool drops, as well as some Waystones and also the book for the last 2 points. These last 2 points will make every boss area irradiated. This means every boss area will have +1 level. And now you will be able to run tier 13 or tier 14 maps over here and get a lot of tier 15 Waystones. That's basically how you get high tier unlimited Waystones in the end game. With unlimited high tier Waystones, you are approaching the basically pure end game of Path of Exile 2. Now it's time to set up our Atlas for farming, juicing, getting loads of currency and loads of nice drops, and fighting 2 bosses at the same time, of course. I got a bunch of setups for Atlases for you, and you definitely want to respect them every now and then, depending on the situation you're in. This will be completely like beginner friendly, stable and safe version of your Atlas. So we're getting bunch of high tier Waystones drops over here, followed by monster packs and my favorite, local knowledge, that will give us a lot of special drops on different map types. Then I definitely like to get this percussor influence, to get basically unlimited percussor tablets. What you need to decide at this point: do you need these 2 points in high tier Waystones? If you're feeling okay versus bosses, definitely just refund these points. Left part of the Atlas will give us more pack sizes as well as more rare monsters, which gives us best and most important drops in the maps. And definitely one of my favorite parts, that will duplicate 1 rare monster. This way we can have like 2 bosses on the map and also 2 rare monsters in the one same place for a lot of extra drops. If you followed my previous Atlas guide, you definitely got these notes over here, but right now it's time to decide, do you actually need them, and you can actually refund one of them easily. And this note at the bottom is one of the really like juicy and most important notes. Deadly Evolution will give 1 or even 2 modifiers to rare and unique monsters, which will give you better drops, but you need to make sure you can handle those. Also in the top right there's a nice note that will give you more effect for prefix or suffix modifiers on Waystones, but you need to make sure again you can handle those, because prefix modifiers are good while suffix will debuff you with very bad effects at the same time. So if you want the most safest and basically easiest route, just go and level up these passive nodes with precursor passive part. When you feel strong, you need Atlas tree like this. It will give you all bonuses to Waystones as well as to precursor towers as well as monsters. Basically this will keep you running in the end game, but you need high amount of precursor tablets and Waystones as well as really strong character that you are comfortable with and you know that you can handle really strong end game content. And that's another version, but again I recommend you to respec it every now and then depending on your needs at the right moment. I will drop screenshots of my Atlas passive tree in my Discord, so make sure to check it in the comments, and you can find my builds and other stuff over there too. At this point you're ready for pure Pinnacle endgame progression. Yeah, you're ready to go and find and fight versus Pinnacle bosses. But you will find some special maps on your road. Special maps like this, and they will give you a large increase in experience gain. While on paper it sounds nice, actually monster density on these maps is awful, even if you drop Waystones with a large amount of suffixes and prefixes. Also, monsters in these maps never drops a single item, so it's definitely not worth to run them a lot. So step 3 is to level up other passive trees on Atlas and also get yourself to Pinnacle bosses. And actually Pinnacle bosses is the way you level up your other passive trees on Atlas. To do it you need to run high tier maps of level 79 or even level 80. That's why I think this Atlas passive tree with a lot of precursor tablets that you can drop on towers and make large amount of breaches around it with more levels is really essential for us. And you want to engage with the content like expeditions, breaches and deliriums. So expeditions will be the easiest ones of them all, since it's really easy and you probably already can handle any content of them all. Still, expeditions is the easiest one. You just drop some bombs and you will find expedition logbooks when you're fighting versus expeditions on high level content. When you get at least one logbook, give this to NPC in your hideout and he will have this expedition map option where you drop these logbooks. Now you will have option from one of the two expeditions. You can pick any expedition you like, and then when you go into this location you will find yourself on small map, but it will be large for expedition with 20 explosives, and you will have large amount of loot over here, but it won't give you extra points in your progress of Atlas. To get extra points you actually need to find the correct place. It will be completely random and place will look like this. A place on the map where you can't go normally. But it should have not this icon, but big skull icon, and it means the boss will be over there. So you just need to place explosives nearby, and after expedition you go down there, and here you will find a boss. Still, in 10 expeditions and right now I haven't encountered a single boss yet, so I can't show you, but there's definitely bosses in expedition, and that's basically the way how you level up expedition passive skill tree. But in my opinion right now it's as useful as Moment of Zen, a map where you go and get one unique for free. I encountered multiple moments of Zen, but I didn't have any really good and useful uniques from this shop. And we got two types of contents left, which is in my opinion the most important and most fun to do also. On high tier Delirium maps you will not only get bunch of distilled emotions, but also you will get bunch of Simulacrum splinters, which can be combined to make Simulacrum. When you get enough Simulacrums, find Ziggurat Refugee, your hometown, and there will be Realm Gate nearby. Drop your Simulacrum over here and you can enter the Simulacrum map with Pinnacle boss. To access this place you need 300 Simulacrum splinters, and here you will need to compete against 15 waves of Delirium monsters. Yeah, Delirium monsters, Delirium bosses, everyone will be over here, but also they will drop nice amount of distilled emotions each wave, so it's pretty nice too. At the end of this trial, you will find Delirium boss. After defeating Delirium boss, you will get the book as always, and this book will give you ability to get points in Atlas. But for me it was unlucky, I got crash basically over here, and after crash I couldn't get to this area again. Yeah, I was stuck behind the gates, so my 300 splinters went to the trash can. Anyway, if you won't crash, you will get points and you can level up this tree. You will not only increase difficulty, but also will get more rewards. This means the next time you will get to your pinnacle boss will be a lot faster than the first time you get over here, since monsters will drop a lot more splinters as well as distilled emotions that you can trade for exiled orbs and then for splinters. Breach works the same way. Engage with breach a lot and monsters will drop breach splinters. Combine 300 of breach splinters and you will be able to join the pinnacle boss fight. So again, drop a breach stone in the realm gate and you will enter into this area. There will be a breach hand, you will activate it and you will have timer that will deplete, but you can gain more time by defeating breach monsters. Basically go through the area and by the end of the area you will find breach boss. He is pretty hard, so make sure you get a nice setup for defeating bosses, and I got insane setup. I got everything ready basically to go and engage him. I turn every buff on and yeah, basically I crash again. I got only one thing to say about this.
Unacceptable condition! Unacceptable!
At least this map will let you finish the boss, so even while I don't have my stick ready, I don't have my buffs, and I was pretty careful, I was able to defeat breach boss. And if your game crashes like mine with DirectX 12, basically some problems, definitely run breaches instead of Deliriums. Deliriums is a waste of time for you, since again you're wasting 300 of Simulacrum splinters or breach splinters to enter into this boss room. And if you will drop and can't re-enter the area, you will lose rewards, but also it's costing around 1 divine to 3 divines to enter, so it's pretty costly mistake, and you need to make sure you are prepared for the boss fight, because if you will lose this boss fight, again you won't be able to re-enter and you will need to gather a bunch of splinters again. If you're curious how to allocate your passive skill points in Breach 3 and in Delirium and Expedition, I would say it doesn't matter a lot. Almost every node will be useful, and just find what is fun for you. Maybe you like more monsters, maybe you like more rewards, but breach will close faster, so you need to understand like what build you are playing. You can't go with fast breach with some like slow warrior, for example, while with spark sorcerer it will be the best setup for you. So definitely just think for the best setup and most fun setup for you. And now it's time to talk about Burning Monolith. So you're exploring the map, you're fighting breaches, deliriums, expeditions, but your main goal is to find citadels. The easiest way is to just go into one direction and follow the path. Go as far as possible from your main building, from Ziggurat Refuge, and then you will find citadel eventually. So yeah, don't try to find it with different ways, just go as far as possible and you will find different citadels. You will need tier 15 Waystone to enter, and then you can enter the Citadel. Citadel will always contain boss, so you need to make sure you're ready to fight bosses, and this will be campaign bosses, which is pretty like powerful ones. Again, don't try to look nearby of the main building, most of the time Citadels is just far away. I guess it's kinda programmed like this, so you can progress through the game, level up, get some resource, and then finally find citadels, because citadels is technically the end of the end game. And you will find these hardest bosses of campaign that will be a lot harder right now with millions and millions of health. So you need to make sure your character is ready to face these T-pose monsters. But every boss from Citadel will not only drop you basic boss loot with pretty nice items, Waystones and stuff, but also they will drop fragments. Fragments that will give you ability to enter into the burning monolith and fight Arbiter of Ash. If you're struggling to get these fragments, definitely you can buy them for exiled orbs from the currency exchange station. Some of them costs just 40 exiled orbs, but Crisis Fragment is probably a lot more rare. And after you combine all 3 fragments, you can enter into Burning Monolith to fight this last boss. So that's basically what you do in the end game, in complete Uber end game of Path of Exile 2, and step-by-step guide what you need to do and how to finish the game basically, because after you defeat Arbiter of Ash 4 times, you're technically beaten the Path of Exile 2. I hope you enjoyed the video, it was helpful, and make sure to watch other cool videos on the screen right now. See you there.